Well, here's the little 430 that we used yesterday. Went out and did a bit of soft baiting and took it for our first run. And we've basically stepped up out of the little 12-foot firing, and this is just a whole different beast. But yeah, a heap more room than our firing. Firing's got the cross seats, which gets a little bit annoying sometimes for room, but this is just pretty epic on the size and the room that you get out of it. Great for standing up in, unlike the little firing, gets a little bit difficult, just sort of rolls the old firing. This is just pretty stable. Those flat chimes that run basically straight through the boat there, they just run down here, and that's what pretty much gives you that stability. We had two of us on one side at one stage and had no problems. Obviously you still got to be careful, it's still a tinny, but didn't have that roll like we had on the old firing. Now also with that nice flat chine, not only does it give you that stability, but what happens is when you're going through the water, get a little bit of splash, it actually comes up, hits this flat chine, and the water actually deflects downwards. So your bow's going down, and the water hits here, and then it just basically deflects downwards. You also got this nice little lip here, so that gets rid of a lot of that water that comes up at you in little boats. Now that's not going to combat when you've got a cross shore, strong cross shore. You're still going to have sort of spray come up, especially when you've got a bit of wake and waves and stuff like that. It will come up and cross over you. That's just has to happen in those small open boats. You can't really combat that. But one thing I really do love is how that pushes away that most of that spray, and especially on a nice calm day, you won't get any of that sort of spray coming up across you. Now the other great thing is I love about this is just they're fully welded. The floor's welded in there, all nice and welded. And one thing I really love is this live bait tank. Really tapped into that really well on these FC boats. Basically it's a live bait tank that you don't have to worry about having any electrics. You don't need to have that water constantly flowing through. It will sort of come through that little bung, and it will just keep rotating around and getting nice fresh salt water going in there. But if your liveys sort of start getting a little bit upset and a little bit worse for wear, just scoop out with a bucket, just one dump, and that'll probably last you another 3 or 4 hours easily. But I was out there the other day in it, and I didn't have to do that once. You just put in your side bungs and you open up your main bung, and that just fills the water in, and it'll only fill so deep, so don't freak out that it's going to overflow. It won't overflow. And then when you want to get some real nice fresh water in there, all you do is you move forward and all that water will drain out. You stop, it'll come back in. Now the other thing too, you can see here there's another bung there, so that's basically all the air under your floor there, so that's giving you some more, you know, stability and obviously buoyancy. So all that under the floor there, all welded off, and you've got air in there. So really starting to love this little FC430. Haven't done a lot in it, but you know, easy to tow, easy to maneuver, easy to handle by one person, just light. And the cool thing is you can just get away with a little two-stroke. So I've got the little two-stroke 30 horse Merc on the back. Basically for when it comes to two strokes, I quite like the Mercs. They're pretty basic, pretty bulletproof. So yeah, those two-stroke Mercs are pretty cool. So got positive buoyancy as well. So the sides here is your positive buoyancy. Got a real nice anchor well here, so that's separate to your boat. Heaps of room in there, and you can actually run an electric winch as well on them. So yeah, if you were sort of doing some deep water stuff and you were anchoring or stuff like that, you might want to chuck on a winch. got a nice little duckboard there to get on the boat. And what I'm doing is I'm running a Lowrance TI2. The Lowrance, it's a 7-inch touchscreen, and what we'll do is we'll have a better look at that at some stage. It's the first time I used it yesterday, and it was pretty basic to use, pretty easy. Had real good definition, and just real easy to use with that touchscreen. So we'll have another look at that. Got some storage up the front there, which is awesome as well. Chuck in all your stuff you want to keep dry. What you got to do is just watch the bottom shelf. You'll get water sort of going up there if you're sort of cleaning something out, or you forget to put one of those side bungs in. So just make sure you put something for your stuff to sit in so it doesn't get wet. And also, one thing I love in these little boats, you've got a 4mm bottom and 3mm sides, so real chunky, gives you a bit of weight in there. But it's a big step up from our little fire, and that's for sure. I think they're about 1.6mm bottom and side, so 4mm bottom, 3mm sides, real chunky and strong, built strong, all welded. That's one thing I love. It's just fully welded, no rivets, don't have to deal with any rivets sort of getting loose or popping out. But yeah, she's a beast. Sits on the lowrider Voyager, and what I found with that is just real easy on and off, and I could basically easily just take this boat off myself. Once you got the water up around sort of your bearings, it just rolls off nicely. It was just as easy to bring back on. Got full rollers through there, and it just, if I was to take the catch off up the front there, basically it would just start rolling. That's how easy it is, and it's real nice to roll off and then wind back on. So that's pretty cool. Don't have to get too deep in the water, just sort of like I was saying, up to here, and she'll just slide off, and then once you want to retrieve, just once again, yay high. So the sides are quite nice and high, you can sort of lean into them a bit. And what I quite like is the real wide gunnels, so you can once again sit on the sides of these. What I did yesterday was I sat on the side a few times, and that was comfy as. You can put like a, obviously like a deck pad there. Gets quite hot, but that's pretty much it. That's what I sort of think of it so far. It's an awesome boat, easy to handle. It was quite calm, so it was a basic day, but just stayed dry all day and real easy to use if you were by yourself. Just running the little 30 on it. I've kept it with the 30 just to, you know, will it handle sort of a couple of people, 3 people, 4? 2 of us in it yesterday, no worries. If you had 4 of you, a bit of dive gear, if you're diving or whatever, could sort of struggle a little bit. It would still do the job, but you might want to bump up to the 40. But that's pretty much it. We've got rod holders, 6 rod holders welded in, nice and strong. But yeah, so far so good, and we'll get back to you once we do a little bit more hours on it.